Well, things are certainly heating up when it comes to the Christchurch mayoral candidacy. David Mates has put his hat in the ring, but joining me now to discuss policy details is Christchurch City Councillor Phil Mauger. Phil, good morning to you.
Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Very well, thanks. What is your reaction to David Mates standing?
I think it's good that there's competition. All my life in my old job, construction industry, we had competition. So competition is healthy, and I think it's good for the people of Christchurch. They've got a choice. They can get out. More people, hopefully, will get out because we're historically not good at getting out and voting or posting our votes back in. So it's got to be good for everyone.
Why aren't we good at voting? Why aren't we good at getting people out and about to vote? It's always very small numbers when it comes to a local body election, and that's a concern, I think, for many people who try to go into council, isn't it?
There's sometimes people think it's foregone conclusion stuff, but I think, and maybe because I'm biased because I'm in it, there is one hell of a lot more interest in this election. Leanne's moving on after 9 years and Andrew is not standing. So there's a lot more opportunity. There's 5 changes going to be around the table regardless of who loses their seat. There's 5 people put their hand up and said they're not doing it.
Let's talk stadiums. I'm not sure if you saw the opinion piece by Jan Wright in the Christchurch Press. She was the Parliamentary Commissioner for the Environment. She said, and I quote, councillors who urge going ahead with the stadium regardless are fiscally irresponsible. Ratepayers being asked to write a blank cheque, yet many will never be able to afford to buy the expensive tickets to the events to the stadium. She's got a good point there, doesn't she?
To a certain extent, you've got to remember that we didn't get ourselves in this position. It should well have been done a number of years ago. We've also got one government gave us the land, another government given us $220 million, and also lying around in there is the thick end of $100 million worth of insurance money that has been spent on other things, but it should have been put in a wee pot over to the side and say, right, we're building our new stadium. That's it. So if you add all that together, we've easily got half the value already. So we're actually getting a big stadium built for half price, if you look at it that way.
It's a nice way to look at it, but let's be honest about the rates here. The rates impact will be, $39 per annum for the average household, but that's just the cost of the increase. It's more likely to be something around, $144 an annum, isn't it?
Yes, all the way from the government's money to the top end is $144 a year, you're correct.
Do you think the councillors should wait until the next council's through before voting on this, or do you think they need to all steam ahead?
My view is all steam ahead. People have had enough of waiting. Waiting is what's got us in this problem that we're facing at the moment.
Let's turn our attention now to Cogovernance. Where do you stand on Cogovernance when it comes to Three Waters? Because I see Leanne Dalzell's been captured, possibly because she's after the next job after council. But where do you stand on this matter? Because it is a big local issue, that's for sure.
As far as Three Waters go, I feel that Christchurch, Selwyn and Waimak, we've got some of the best water in the country. I don't necessarily agree with Three Waters. I oppose it, but we've got to get together with iwi and work our way through it. There's no question that something needs to be done, but we've got to work together to get a good outcome.
A business leader who texted me this morning, who doesn't want to be named, said they're concerned that David Mates is just another government institutionalised person, and we'll get, and this is their quote, not mine, we'll get the same shit we've had for the past 3 years. What's your reaction?
I'm certainly a different sort of kettle of fish to David, I'm sure. I haven't met the man. I'm sure he's a lovely bloke. But I'm a different kettle of fish to him. I just want to sort of cut through red tape. I want to talk to the staff that are in here and ask them what their thoughts are on the best way to make things better for them. Because we make all the policy, we make the bullets and they fire them. So we've got to make it easy for them to do their job with the public.
What are your views on the government's policy forced upon the good people of Christchurch for the likes of intensification? Because it seems a real shame that the fabric of our city is now full of cheap, ugly dog kennels.
I feel that what the government, and government, that was bipartisan, they both decided to do it, which surprised me, but we're getting an Auckland and a Wellington problem forced on us. After the earthquake, we've been doing some really good work, and a lot of the stuff that's getting built at the moment is fine. But you imagine adding an extra story, an extra level on top of what you see at the moment, you're right, it's going to ruin all sorts of things, but we're sort of stymied by what the government are telling us to do. But I'm not happy with it.
I want to talk about cycleways just briefly. There is still that perception out there, Phil, that you are anti-cycleways. Some would argue, though, at least the cycleways are going to be or will be used by members of the public every day. What's your reaction to that criticism?
I have no problems with cycleways. I actually agree with them. I go out with my grandkids riding around them as much as I can. but what I am against is what we're spending on getting them done. Like, just because the government have very nicely given us 87 million of shovel-ready money, that's great. But we don't need to be in a hell of a great rush to spend it. I feel, because in my old job with construction, I know how much you can get done for how much you spend. And we could get twice as much cycleways done if we didn't have them so jazzed up and Rolls-Royce or gold-plated, whatever you want to say. But we could get a lot more done.
So what's a major priority for you, Phil, when it comes to a Phil Mauger-led council? What do you want to do? Give me one thing that's important to you.
I want to turn around the way people think about council. At the moment, I believe we're down to about 42% from 49. We're down to 42% satisfaction with our residents. I've got to turn the ship around. I want to get out of the office as much as I can and go and see people out on the coalface and see what their problems are, right to them, face to face. And got to make it easier. Got to make people happy to live here.
Phil Mauger, nice to speak with you. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Good on you, buddy.